I like to talk about people.
Rád hovorím o ľuďoch.
And most of the Bible is written about people.
A hľa, celá Biblia, alebo väčšina Biblie je práve o ľuďoch.
God is a person.
Boh je osoba.
He is triune.
On je trojediný.
He's made us in his image.
On nás stvoril vo svojej podobe.
Just as he is a God of relationship between the three persons of the Godhead.
A on je ten, ktorý je Boh vzťahov ako v trojstve.
So he makes us relational people too. We like to relate to each other.
A tak aj nás stvoril, aby sme boli ľudia vzťahov, aby sme mali vzťahy jeden s
And he
druhým.
wants us to relate to him.
Chce, aby sme mali vzťah s ním.
And so when he wrote his book for us,
A keď napísal svoju knihu pre nás,
most of it is biographical or all about people.
veľa z toho je biografia, teda je to o ľuďoch.
Now there's some people we like in the Bible,
Áno, sú ľudia, ktorých máme veľmi rád
and
v
there's some
písme,
people we don't like in the Bible.
sú ľudia, ktorých nemáme rád.
But that's the beauty of the Bible. It's realistic.
Ale v tom je krása písma, že ono je reálne.
It's not, every other religious book is all about theory and philosophy.
Lebo každá iná náboženská kniha je len filozofická, je tam veľa teórií.
Or only tells about how the founder of that religion is so wonderful.
A hovorí najčastejšie o tom, ako zakladateľ toho náboženstva je taký výnimočný.
But the Bible tells it just like it is.
Ale Biblia nám to podáva tak, ako je.
In fact, young people, if you think the Bible is boring, it's because you haven't read it.
Mladí, ak si myslíte, že je Biblia dosádená, tak ste ju pravdepodobne nečítali.
There's more wars in the Bible than on Hollywood.
Viacej je bojov a vojen ako v Hollywoode.
There's much better scandals in the Bible than you can get on your soap operas.
Väčších, alebo viacej je skandálov, ako čo máte v sapuniciach na televízore.
In fact, if you're not married, you're not even allowed to read the book of Song of Solomon.
A ak nie ste ženatí alebo vydaté, tak nemáte ani ešte právo čítať pieseň Šalamúnovu.
Now I know what somebody's going to read tonight.
Ja si viem, čo niektorí mladí dnes večer budú čítať.
The Bible is fascinating.
Ale Biblia je úžasná.
Because it's about people, and it's about their life experiences.
Je o ľuďoch, je o ich skúsenostiach.
Now you say, I'm one of those people in the church that nobody cares about.
Možno si poviete, ale ja som vo svojom zbore niekto, o kom nikto nedbá.
In English we have an expression called second fiddle.
V angličtine máme výraz, ktorý hovorí, ja som iba druhou violínou.
Yeah, you've been to the orchestra, yes?
Boli ste voľakedy alebo videli orchester.
And at the end, the conductor is given applause.
A keď sa koncert skončí, potom dirigent dostane aplauz.
And then he gives the honor to who?
A potom ešte on môže podať česť komu?
The number one violin player.
Prvej violíne.
And then he says thank you to everybody.
A potom sa poďakuje všetkým ostatným.
Nobody ever says thank you to the second fiddle person.
Ale ten, ktorý hrá druhú violínu, nikto mu nepovie osobite ďakujem.
But most of us are kind of second violin type of people, aren't we?
Ale väčšina z nás sme práve takíto ľudia, akoby hráme na druhej violíne.
In my family, I'm number 3 of 3 children.
V mojej rodine ja som tretie z 3 detí.
My sister is one of those brilliant academic people.
Moja sestra je tá úžasný vedec.
I'm not.
Ja nie som.
My brother, he could make anything out of wood or metal and fix anything.
A môj brat je taký šikovný, že zo železa a z dreva urobí všetko a všetko popraví.
I take my car to the shop to have the oil changed.
Ja moje auto vždy odvediem do majstrovie na go pozrieť.
So as they say, there was not much DNA left for you, so you became a missionary.
A ako je jedno príslovie, že už nezostalo veľa DNA, tak ty si sa stal misionárom.
Yeah, I was always the little brother.
Naveky som bol ten malý chlapec, ten mladší brat.
I couldn't do things like they could do.
Nikdy som nebol dostatočne dobrý ako oni.
That's okay.
Ale je to v pohode.
Now when Jesus came, he picked 12 people to be his disciples.
Keď Pán Ježiš prišiel na zem, tak si vybral 12, aby boli jeho učeníkmi.
Can you name them?
Môžete ich vymenovať?
No, you probably can't.
Asi nie.
Because about 6 of them we never even read about outside the list of the 12.
Lebo 6 okrem v zozname 12 sa inde ani nespomínajú meno.
But we do know 3 of them very well, don't we?
Ale 3 vieme určite.
Oh, they're the 3 heroes.
Lebo to sú tí traja hrdinovia.
The inner circle.
Áno, ten vnútorný kruh.
Who are they?
A kto sú oni?
Peter, James, and John.
Peter, Jan, Jakub.
We read a lot about them.
Veľa o nich čítame, že?
What do you read about Bartholomew?
Ale čo čítate o Bartolomeovi?
Not much.
Nie moc.
But there is a 4th disciple that is mentioned more than the others.
Ale je aj 4. učeník, ktorý sa spomína viac ako ostatní.
And we don't know much about him either.
Ale ani o ňom moc nevieme.
In fact, he's only mentioned 7 times in the New Testament.
Iba 7-krát sa spomína v celej Novej zmluve.
But that's more than some like Bartholomew.
Ale aj to je viac než tento chudák Bartolomej.
And his name is Andrew.
A meno tohoto učeníka je Andrej.
And he's often mentioned with the other 3. So there's sometimes a mention of 4.
A častokrát sa spomína s touto prvou trojicou, teda sú tam vlastne 4.
And so I know you are a very smart audience.
Vidím, že ste múdri poslucháči.
And I know a sermon's only supposed to have 3 points.
A viem, že služba slova má mať iba 3 body.
But we're going to do 7 points tonight.
Ale dnes večer bude ich až 7.
Because we are going to see all 7 places that we talk about Andrew in the New Testament.
Lebo sa pozrieme na všetky tie mestá, v ktorých sa Andrej spomína.
So if you have a pen, you can write them down in the margin of your Bible.
Ak máte svoje ceruzky, tak si môžete vo svojich Bibliách priznačiť.
And Vladimir said I only have 2 hours, so that's okay.
A Vladimír povedal, že mám iba 2 hodiny, takže stihneme to.
So number 1 is John chapter 1.
Teda prvýkrát sa spomína Evangelium Jána 1. kapitola.
And we won't read all of the passage.
Nebudeme čítať celú kapitolu.
But you know the passage. John the Baptist is preaching.
Ale viete ten oddiel, Ján Krstiteľ hovorí alebo káže.
The day before he had made the first statement, behold the Lamb of God.
Deň predtým povedal alebo dal tú prvú výpoveď, hľa baránok Boží.
Now in verse 36 it's the next day and he says it again.
A v 36. verši je nasledovný deň a znovu Ján Krstiteľ hovorí.
And John had 2 disciples in verse 37.
37. verš hovorí, že Ján mal 2 učeníkov,
And they obeyed John.
ktorí poslúchali
And they turned
Jána
and started to follow Jesus.
a začali nasledovať Ježiša.
And so Jesus turns and looks at them
A tak Ježiš sa pozrie na nich
in verse 38.
v 38. verši
And he says, what do you seek?
a sa ich pýta, no, čo hľadáte?
And they said to him, Rabbi, where are you staying?
A oni odpovedajú, 39. verš, Rabi, kde bývaš?
Now that was a cultural question.
Bola to otázka, ktorá bola slušná v tej kultúre.
It meant, why are you here and what are you doing and do you have people following you?
V podstate, prečo si tu, čo robíš a prečo ťa ľudia nasledujú?
A rabbi always had followers, people he was teaching with him.
Lebo rabín alebo učiteľ vždy mal tých, ktorí išli za ním, tých, ktorých vyučoval.
And John had told them to follow Jesus.
A Ján im bol povedal, no vy nasledujte Ježiša.
So they're curious.
Teda sú zvedaví.
And we find out who they are.
A potom zisťujeme, kto oni sú.
One of them is Andrew.
Jeden z nich je Andrej.
You see in verse 39, Jesus says, come and you will see where I stay.
40. verš, on im odpovedá, poďte a vidzte.
In verse 40 it says, one of them who heard John speak and followed him was Andrew, Simon Peter's brother.
A potom v 41. a jeden z tých dvoch, ktorí to počuli od Jána, bol Andrej.
And then he goes and finds Simon, who became Peter.
A potom on ide, aby našiel Šimona,
And Andrew says, I think we have found the Messiah.
ktorý potom mu hovorí, myslím, že sme našli Mesiáša.
And so Peter comes in verse 42.
A potom v 42. 43. verši aj Peter prichádza.
And Jesus makes that statement, you are Simon the son of John, but you're going to be called Cephas.
A potom Pán Ježiš hovorí, ty si Šimon, syn Jonášov, ty sa budeš volať Kéfáš.
And that's all we read about this first incident.
A to je prvý príbeh alebo spomínanie Andreja.
They are curious.
Boli zvedaví.
Where are you staying?
Kde bývaš?
What are you doing?
Čo robíš?
Andrew said, I think he's the Messiah.
Andrej hovorí, ja myslím, že sme našli
He
Mesiáša.
was interested enough that he went and brought his brother.
Bol toľko zaujatý, že išiel si doviesť brata,
But we don't read anything more about Andrew being with Jesus in this passage.
ale potom viacej o ňom nič nečítame.
Now some of you may have come here tonight and that's what you are.
Možno niektorí z vás ste dnes večer prišli
You're like Andrew, you are curious.
a ste podobní Andrejovi, ktorý bol zvedavý. Aj vy ste zvedaví.
Maybe you came with a friend or you came with a neighbor.
Možno ste prišli so susedou alebo so známym.
And we're glad you're here.
A tešíme sa z toho, že ste tu.
And I'm glad if you are curious.
A ja sa teším z toho, ak ste zvedaví.
Who is this Jesus?
Teda kto je tento
And
Ježiš?
they talk about Jesus in that church, and but they talk about him differently.
hovoria o Ježišovi v tom zbore, tam, ale na rôzne spôsoby.
We don't have to worry about what they say in the different churches. What does it say about Jesus in his word?
Nie je ani toľko dôležité, čo hovoria tam na tom inom mieste. Dôležité je to, čo hovorí písmo o ňom.
You see, John the Baptist said to Andrew and Simon, follow Jesus.
Lebo Ján Krstiteľ povedal svojim učeníkom, vy nasledujte jeho.
Don't follow a religion.
Nebuďte nasledovníkmi
Don't
náboženstva.
follow some movement.
Nenasledujte nejaké hnutie.
There were lots of different prophets and different people calling themselves the Messiah at this time.
Lebo aj v tom čase už bolo veľa prorokov, ktorí seba nazývali Mesiášom.
And they come and they're curious about Jesus.
A tak sú zvedaví, pristupujú k Ježišovi.
Number 2, go back to the book of Mark and chapter 1.
A druhý oddiel je v Markovom evanjeliu, taktiež 1. kapitola.
And this is the second time chronologically that we come across our friend Andrew.
A chronologicky toto je druhý príbeh, keď sa stretávame s Andrejom.
In verse 16.
Na 16. verši.
Now we're up in Galilee.
Teraz sme už v oblasti Galileje.
Remember John 1, we were down in the Jordan Valley where John was baptizing.
Jánova 1. kapitola sa odohráva dole pri Jordáne.
And Jesus sees, it says in verse 16, Simon and Andrew.
A teraz v 16. verši píše, že Ježiš chodiac popri mori videl Šimona a Andreja,
And they've just gone back to the family business and they are fishing.
ktorí sa vrátili k svojmu povolaniu a rybárčili.
But now Jesus calls them.
Ale teraz ich Pán Ježiš volá, pozýva.
Verse 17, follow me and I'll make you fishers of men.
17. verš. Poďte za mňou a učiním vás rybármi ľudí.
And immediately they left their nets and followed him.
A hneď opustili svoje siete a išli za ním.
Now probably in Luke chapter 5 is where Peter gets saved.
Lukáš 5. kapitole je asi miesto, na ktorom je Petrovo obrátenie.
But here we don't know exactly when Andrew gets saved.
Ale v tomto teraz príbehu nevieme presne, či Andrej je už zachránený.
But it does say they left their nets and they followed the Lord.
Ale čo píše je, že opustili siete a nasledovali Ježiša.
And tonight the Lord is calling each one of us as well.
A dnes večer Pán volá každého jedného z nás.
So maybe you can come to the second level of Andrew's experience with Jesus Christ.
A tak možná sa môžete posunúť na druhý stupeň skúsenosti, ktorú mal Andrej.
Not just be curious, but now hear his call.
Nielen byť zvedavým o ňom, kto je, ale aj počuť jeho povolanie.
Maybe you've been converted, saved for decades.
Možno ste spasení už 10 ročia.
But the Lord still calls us every day to something special.
Ale Pán nás každý deň volá k niečomu zvláštnemu.
What's he calling you to for this week?
Čo má pre teba schystané tento týždeň?
He has something you want to do.
Má niečo, čo on chce, aby si ty urobil.
And we'll see some more about this in the next steps of Andrew's life.
A toto budeme vidieť vlastne v nasledovných krokoch Andrejovho života.
Jesus simply says, follow me.
Pán Ježiš jednoducho povedal, nasleduj ma.
Now following Jesus is a little bit different for each one of us.
Pre každého jedného z nás nasledovať Ježiša znamená niečo trošku iné.
He's made us very different.
Lebo nás stvoril rôznych.
Some are very pretty, like the girls up here singing.
Niekto je veľmi krásny, ako dievčatá, čo spievali.
And talented.
A veľmi talentované.
Some of us are older, but we are wise.
Niektorí z nás sme už starší, ale aj múdrejší.
Some of us can teach.
Niektorí z nás môžu vyučovať.
Some of us can make things.
Niektorí z nás sú šikovní svojimi rukami.
So I can't tell you how Jesus is calling you to follow him.
Ja vám nemôžem povedať, ako vás Ježiš volá, v čom, aby ste ho nasledovali.
You have to listen for his voice.
Ale vy musíte počuť jeho hlas.
How do you do that?
A ako to robíte?
Well, you stop and listen to his voice.
Nož, zastavíte sa počas dňa a poslúchate, alebo počúvate jeho
And
hlas.
if you don't know how to do it, get Anna. Oh, we won't talk about that.
A ak neviete, ako počuť Ježišov hlas, tak choďte si ale sme
But Vladimir
vrátení.
could help. You need to follow.
Musíte nasledovať.
Hear the call.
Počuť povolanie
And follow.
a nasledovať.
Now the third time we meet our friend Andrew
Tretí príbeh, v ktorom sa stretávame s
is
Andrejom,
on the same page in verse 29.
je istá kapitola, 29. verš.
We don't know if it's just a few days later or a couple of weeks later,
Neviem, či sa toto odohralo o niekoľko dní alebo niekoľko týždňov,
They're still in Galilee.
Ešte stále sú v Galilei.
They're still ministering around the town of Capernaum.
Ešte stále je služba vôkol mestečka
And it
Kapernaum.
says in verse 29, they come out of the synagogue.
A 29. verš hovorí, keď vyšli zo synagógy,
You can still go visit that synagogue today.
dokonca aj dnes môžete ísť navštíviť tú synagógu.
It's not the same rocks, but it's just another synagogue built on top of that original one.
Už nie je to tá stará budova, teraz inú postavili, ale sú isté základy.
And just about a block away is what they think was Simon Peter's house.
A na druhom uhle je, čo považujú, že to je vlastne dom Šimona Petra.
Well, probably the mother-in-law's house.
Vlastne jeho svokrin dom.
And they go there for lunch,
A 30. verš, išli tam na obed,
but the mother-in-law is sick.
ale svokra ležala v horúčke.
So there probably was no lunch.
Pravdepodobne ani nebolo obeda.
Oh, so what happens now?
A čo sa stáva?
Well, Andrew and Simon and James and John. You see, there's the four of them.
V 29. verši. Šimon, Andrej, Jakob a Jan. Na nich ich štyria.
Andrew's included in that special group.
Teda je tu aj Andrej s touto trojkou.
Now, apparently the other 8 weren't invited for lunch.
Asi tí ostatní 8 neboli povolaní k tomuto obedu.
And Jesus goes in and sees the problem,
A Pán Ježiš, keď vstúpil, tak videl, v čom je problém
and he heals her.
a uzdravuje svokru.
That's not a problem for Jesus.
Pre Ježiša to nie je žiaden problém.
You have plenty of problems,
Vy alebo my máme dosť problémov,
but they aren't problems for Jesus either.
ale pre Neho to nie sú problémy.
He can fix whatever need you have tonight.
On môže napraviť akákoľvek tvoja potreba.
In fact, nobody even asked him to do it.
Dokonca nikto ho ani nepožiadal, aby niečo urobil.
He just saw the problem and he fixed the problem.
Videl potrebu a naplnil ju.
But who was there?
Ale kto bol tam?
Our friend Andrew was there and he saw that.
Andrej bol tam a videl to.
He saw the sick mother-in-law healed.
A videl, ako Šimonova chorá svokra bola uzdravená.
And I think if we are going to put a word on it, I think Andrew became convinced of who Jesus is.
A ak by sme to mohli položiť do jedného slova, alebo zhrnúť do jedného slova, ja si myslím, že Andrej bol presvedčený v to, kto Ježiš je.
You remember in Luke 5 when they are out fishing and Jesus brings the miraculous catch of fish.
Ak si spomínate Lukáša 5. kapitola, keď je ten zázračný rybolov,
And Peter falls down before the Lord
a Šimon Peter padá pred Ježišom
and says, "Go away from me, Lord, for I am a sinful man."
a keď vyslovuje, choď preč odo mňa, lebo ja som hriešník.
That was the point where Peter was convinced of who the Lord was.
To je čas a priestor, keď Peter bol presvedčený v to, kto je Ježiš.
You remember Andrew in the first scene said to Peter, "Come, I think we found the Messiah."
Ak si spomeniete, na začiatku sme povedali, Andrej bol ten, ktorý povolal Petra, poď vidť, myslíš, že sme našli Mesiáša.
Now he sees him heal Peter's mother-in-law.
Teraz vidí, ako Ježiš uzdravuje Petrovú svokru.
Nobody's ever seen anything like this happen before.
Nikto nevidel niečo také.
And I think Andrew in his quiet spirit was convinced.
A ja som presvedčený, že Andrej vo svojom tichom duchu bol presvedčený.
This number 3 point is very important.
Tento tretí bod je veľmi dôležitý.
See, these are signs of true discipleship.
Lebo toto sú znamenia opravdového učeníctva.
We as believers, especially those of us who have been believers for a long time, have a problem.
My, ktorí sme veriacimi a najmä ak sme už veriacimi veľa rokov, máme jeden problém.
We get into the routine of Christian life.
Veľmi sme pohodlní v tomto našom zabehanom kolotoči kresťanského života.
We come to church, we sing the hymns, maybe we even read the Bible.
Prídeme do zboru, spievame piesne, možno si aj prečítame,
But nothing ever changes.
ale vlastne nič sa nemení v našom živote.
Why not?
Prečo?
I think it's this point.
Ja si myslím, že je práve tento bod.
We're not convinced that Jesus is the Messiah.
Nie sme presvedčení, že Ježiš je Mesiáš.
I didn't say we didn't know it. Yes, we know it.
Nehovorím, že to v rozumovo neuznávame.
We believe it too. We are saved.
Dokonca veríme tomu, však sme spasení.
But then why doesn't anything change?
Ale prečo sa nič nemení?
Because we're not convinced.
Lebo nie sme presvedčení.
He's the Messiah for Vladimir.
No, Ježiš je Mesiášom pre Vladimíra.
And he does great things for Vladimir.
A on určite robí dobré veci pre Vladimíra.
But I don't think he would do it for me.
Ale ja si myslím, že on to neurobí pre mňa.
That's called doubt,
A to je vlastne pochybnosť.
which means you're not convinced.
A keď pochybujeme, nie sme presvedčení.
Have you had some experiences with Jesus that convinces you of who he is?
Ste skúsili niečo s Ježišom Kristom, čo vás presvedčilo o tom, kto Ježiš je?
In a practical sense,
Veľmi praktickom.
for your daily walk with Christ,
Vo vašom každodennom živote, vo každodennom chodení s
in
Ježišom.
the midst of your needs
V strede vašej najväčšej potreby.
and your problems,
Alebo vašich problémov.
whether they're economic,
Či sú ekonomickej prírody,
or maybe your marriage,
alebo je otázka vašeho manželstva,
or maybe your mother-in-law,
alebo je to vaša svokra.
maybe you wish she were sick. Oh, you don't have to interpret that. We all have problems,
Všetci máme problém.
and Jesus can help.
A Ježiš môže pomôcť.
But he doesn't usually just come in and do it.
A on najčastejšie nepríde a to urobí len tak.
He wants to see us respond in faith.
On chce vidieť našu odpoveď našej viery.
Believe him for that need.
Dôveruj mu ohľadom tej potreby.
Ask him for that need.
Popros ho ohľadom tej potreby.
And then wait for him to supply.
A potom čakaj, že on zabezpečí.
He was curious.
Bol
Then he
zvedavý,
was called.
potom bol
Now
povolaný.
he's a convinced disciple.
Teraz je presvedčeným učeníkom.
Now, number 4, we need to go to John chapter 6.
A aby sme prišli k 4. bodu, musíme sa znovu presunúť do Jánovho evanjelia 6. kapitolu.
See, we're more than halfway through, so we're going to make it.
Vidíte, už sme prešli polovicu, takže aj s časom to uspieme.
Now, John chapter 6, you know so well.
Istotne poznáte Ján 6.
Maybe you've heard more sermons on John 6 than any other passage.
Možno ste počuli aj viacej kázni o tejto kapitole ako o ostatných
It's the feeding
častiach.
of the 5,000.
Je to nasýtenie 5000-ového zástupu.
And so we won't even take the time to read it.
Teda príliš veľa času by bolo to prečítať,
But you remember the story.
ale si spomínate ten príbeh.
There's a problem.
Nastal problém.
Now, who's been convinced that somebody can fix problems?
A kto bol presvedčený, že niekto môže napraviť ten
Our
problém?
friend Andrew.
No náš priateľ Andrej.
But the Lord first tests Philip in verse 5.
Ale ak si pozriete do 5. verša, Pán Ježiš skúša Filipa.
Jesus says, Philip, where are we going to buy bread to feed all these people?
Lebo Ježiš sa pýta Filipa, kde nakúpime toľko chleba, aby sa títo najedli.
And it says in verse 6 that he did it to test him.
A ďalší verš nám odhaľuje, že povedal to na to, aby ho skúsil.
And Philip fails the test.
A Filip nezložil túto skúšku.
He thought about it logically.
Išiel na to logikou,
He thought about it economically.
z ekonomického hľadiska.
He says there's no supermarket here,
Nemáme obchod,
so I don't think it's going to work.
asi nám to nevíde.
So he comes up with his own solution.
A potom má normálne svoje vlastné riešenie.
Just send them away, Lord.
No tak pošli ich preč.
That's not what the Lord asked.
Ale to nie je to, čo sa Pán pýtal.
But then you come to verse 8.
A potom prichádzame k 8.
And who do we come
veršu.
across?
A to sa spomína v 8. verši?
The 4th time we find our friend Andrew.
Náš priateľ Andrej sa spomína.
And Andrew's not alone.
Andrej zase nie je sám.
He has a cute little boy with him.
Má malého chlapca vedľa seba,
And he has a little basket.
ktorý má svoj malý košík.
And in his basket he has 2 things.
A v tom košíku má 2 veci.
5 little bread rolls.
5 chlebíkov
And 2 little fish.
a 2 malé rybičky.
Not like the fishermen tell you about the big fish they catch.
Nie ako ryby, o ktorých sa chvália rybolovci.
And Andrew says, Lord, it's not much, but this little boy has a lunch.
A Andrej hovorí Pánovi, nie je to síce mnoho, ale tento malý chlapec má niečo.
I don't know what you are going to do with it, but you can.
Ja neviem, čo ty s tým urobíš, ale ja viem, že ty môžeš.
I'm convinced of that.
Ja som presvedčený, že ty môžeš.
And I'm courageous enough to stand up in front of 15,000 people and say that.
A ja som dosť smelý, aby som si zastal pred 15 000 ľuďmi a ti to povedal verejne.
See, he didn't take Jesus behind a tree and say, Jesus, do you think maybe, somehow, possibly you could do something?
Vidíte, nezobral Ježiša poza prvý strom a potom sa s ním, že no, či by si ako nejako mohol.
See, Jesus is talking out in public.
Lebo Pán Ježiš verejne hovoril.
And here comes Andrew with a little boy.
A potom pristupuje k nemu Andrej s malým chlapcom,
His little lunch.
s malým košíkom, obedom
And he says, okay, Lord, you can do it.
a v podstate hovorí, Pane, teraz si ty na rade.
How are you going to do it, I don't know.
Neviem ako,
But I'm convinced.
ale som
And
presvedčený
so I'm willing to take the step of courage.
a tak idem do toho rozhodne, so smelosťou.
You see, courage is probably one of the best ways to prove your faith.
Asi tá smelosť je jeden z najlepších spôsobov, ako potvrdiť svoju vieru.
That will make you a disciple to take the next step in your walk with God.
Aby si sa stal nasledovníkom alebo učeníkom
You
Ježišom.
won't be courageous if you're not convinced.
Nebudeš dosť smelý, ak nie si presvedčený.
You'll never get convinced unless you hear the call of God.
Nikdy nebudeš presvedčený, ak si nepočul povolanie Božie.
And you'll never hear the call of God if you're not curious.
A nikdy nebudeš počuť to povolanie, ak nie si zvedavý.
It's a process of walking with God.
Je to vlastne proces kráčania za Bohom.
And you know the end of the story.
A viete ostatok príbehu.
That one little basket of fish and bread
Ten malý košík chlebov a rybičiek,
created so many leftovers, they had 12 big baskets full of leftovers.
že zostalo z výšku 12 veľkých košov.
And Andrew learned more lessons.
A Andrej sa naučil ďalšie lekcie.
Andrew was walking with God.
Andrej kráčal s Bohom.
Courage is not my strong point.
Smelosť, no asi nie som až taký smelý.
I admit I'm more like Philip in this story.
Priznávam si, že ja som skôr ako Filip,
I think about numbers.
lebo hneď myslím na
I have
čísla,
my plans.
mám svoje plány,
I see it from a human perspective.
hľadím na to z ľudského hľadiska.
And so things that are out of the ordinary and not possible, well, sometimes I don't think about that.
A keď veci mi neštimujú a zvlášť ak to nedáva zmysel, tak radšej o tom ani nemyslím.
Imagine if we were more like Andrew.
Ale zamyslite si, keby sme boli podobnejší Andrejovi.
Imagine if we had the courage to do things that are supernatural.
Keby sme mali smelosť robiť veci, ktoré sú nadprirodzené.
Not that we do them,
Nie, že by sme my ich
but we
robili,
believe that God can do them.
ale že by sme dôverovali Bohu, že On to urobí.
Have you ever had the courage to ask God to take away your bad temper?
Mali ste kedysi tú smelosť, aby ste poprosili Boha, aby vám vzal vašu zlú nárav, povahu?
Have you ever had the courage to go out with the young people to hand out literature in the street?
Mali ste smelosť niekedy odísť s mladými na ulici deliť traktáty?
Have you ever had the courage, like the widow, to give away your last money when you don't know where the next meal is coming from?
Ste mali smelosť ako tá vdova dať ten posledný peniaz a pritom ste nevedeli, či budete mať za následovný obed, večeru?
Very easy to talk about faith,
Je ľahko hovoriť o viere,
but faith is nothing unless there's action.
ale viera bez skutkov je mŕtva.
And that action takes courage.
A ten skutok si vyžaduje smelosť.
So we can get convinced about who Jesus is,
Tak buďte presvedčení v to, kto Ježiš je.
what he can do,
Čo on môže,
what he wants to do,
čo on chce.
and then start taking some steps of courage,
A potom začnite kráčať smelo vo viere.
like our friend Andrew.
Ako náš priateľ Andrej.
Now go forward to John chapter 12,
Teraz sa presunieme do Jána 12. kapitole.
and here we see number 5.
A tu máme 5. spomínanie Andreja.
In John chapter 12 and verse 20,
20. verš 12. kapitole Jánovho evanjelia.
we're coming near to the end of the 3 years of Jesus' life.
Približujeme sa ku koncu trojročnej služby Ježiša.
And they're in Jerusalem,
Teda sú v Jeruzaleme
and some Greeks show up.
a sú tam nejakí Gréci, ktorí sa objavujú,
And they're at the feast.
ktorí prišli na sviatok do Jeruzalema.
And for some reason they come up to Philip.
A pre nejakú príčinu pristúpili Filipovi,
In
21.
verse 21 they say, "Sir, we would like to see Jesus."
A hovoria, Pane, chceme vidieť Ježiša.
Oh, we've got problems.
Máme problém.
Because Jesus only talked to Jews at this point.
Lebo v tom čase Ježiš sa zováral iba so Židmi.
Or at least the Jew Philip thought that that's the way it was to be.
Alebo aspoň si Žid Filip myslel, že to má tak.
The Messiah is a Jew.
Lebo však Mesiáš je Židom.
I've been following him for 3 years.
Nasledujem ho už 3 roky.
And I hear him say he comes first to the people of Israel.
A počúval som, ako hovorí, že prišiel najprv vyvoleným Izraela.
Now we have taken some foreign trips. We went up to Tyre and Sidon once. I remember that trip.
A spomínam si, predsa sme raz odišli do Týra aj do Sidona, do zahraničia.
And our poor friend Philip does not know what to do.
A náš chudák Filip celý zmetený nevie, čo má robiť.
If I take them to Jesus, maybe Jesus will reprimand me because he's not supposed to talk to Greeks.
Možno ma bude šomrať, lebo on nehovorí s Grékmi.
But I know Jesus does seem to love everybody.
Ale myslím si, že Pán Ježiš miluje každého.
What should I do?
Tak čo bude robiť?
I like what he does.
A páči sa mi, čo urobil.
He comes to our friend Andrew.
Prichádza k Andrejovi.
That says something, doesn't it?
A to už niečo hovorí o
He
ňom.
didn't go to Peter.
Neodišiel za Petrom,
Peter would have called down fire and thunder on them.
lebo Peter by bol asi zvolal hromy a blesky na nich.
He doesn't go to John.
Nejde k Jánovi,
John would have had a nice little talk to them and given them some loving words.
lebo Ján by sa rád s nimi porozprával, možno o láske.
Who does he come to?
A ku komu prišiel?
Who does Philip see usually has the answers?
Koho Filip považuje, že má dobré odpovede?
Andrew.
Andrej.
Why?
Prečo?
Because he was courageous.
Lebo mal smelosť.
And he also saw apparently that Andrew was a caring person.
A pravdepodobne si všimol, že Andrej mal jednu vlastnosť, že bol starostlivý.
When it comes to this issue of interpersonal relationships and really, we're talking about racism.
Lebo keď hovoríme o vzťahoch, a tu sa akoby chcela vytvoriť taká problematika rasizmu,
Now in America we have lots of problems with racism. You know
a verte
about
mi,
that.
v Amerike máme veľké problémy s tým.
Now in the Balkans there's no problem with racism.
A na Balkáne nemáte s tým problém, že?
Well, it's a human problem, isn't it?
Je to ľudský problém.
And when there's this problem, Philip says Andrew will have the answer.
A keď sa objavil tento problém, Filip si pomyslel, že Andrej bude mať riešenie.
Now that's a fairly mature believer.
A toto je už dospelým alebo zrelým veriacím človekom.
I would love to get to that level of spirituality that Andrew has arrived at.
Ja by som rád bol na tej úrovni duchovnej vyspelosti, na akej bol Andrej.
What level of wisdom he has, Philip recognizes that.
Koľko múdrosti mal v sebe a Filip pochopil, alebo to videl v ňom.
And Andrew takes the Greeks to Jesus.
A potom Andrej vedie týchto Grékov k Ježišovi.
And then there's something very interesting in verse 23.
A potom je ešte niečo zvláštne v 23. verši.
How does Jesus answer?
Čo je Ježišova odpoveď?
He doesn't tell the Greeks to go away.
Nehovorí Grékom, aby odišli preč.
He doesn't ask the Greeks what they want.
Nepýta sa ich, no čo chcete.
He makes a great doctrinal statement
Ale dáva jednu až doktrinálnu vyhlášku.
in a very strange way.
Na jeden zvláštny spôsob.
Up to this point, whenever the people were trying to push the timeline of the Lord, trying to get him to fulfill his messianic work,
Kedykoľvek sa ľudia snažili robiť nátlak na Ježiša, aby on splnil svoje mesiášske poslanie,
the Lord had one answer.
Pán Ježiš mal vždy jednu jedinú
My
odpoveď.
hour has not come.
Moja hodina ešte neprišla.
Be patient.
Buďte trpezliví.
But now in the presence of Greeks, of Gentiles, of foreigners, he says, the hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified.
Ale teraz v prítomnosti Grékov, pohanov, Pán Ježiš hovorí, prišla hodina, aby bol oslávený Syn človeka.
And then in verse 24, he gives that famous illustration of the wheat dying.
A potom v nasledovnom verši má ten krásny príklad o tom zrnku pšenice, ktoré musí zomrieť,
So that it could produce fruit.
aby mohlo priniesť úrodu.
And then in verse 25, he gives that great discipleship principle.
A v 25. verši má ten princíp učeníctva.
If you love your life, you'll lose it.
Kto má rád svoju dušu,
If
stratí
you
ju.
hate your life of this world, you will keep it for life eternal.
A kto nenávidí svoju dušu na tomto svete, zachová ju do večného života.
If anyone serves me, verse 26, let him follow me.
26. verš. Ak mne niekto slúži, nech ma nasleduje.
That where I am, there shall my servant also be.
A kde som ja, tam bude aj môj služobník.
If anyone serves me, the Father will honor him.
A jestli mne niekto slúži,
Who did
toho bude ctiť Otec.
Who did Jesus say that to?
Komu to Pán Ježiš hovoril?
Not Jews.
nie Židom,
Gentiles.
pohanom.
He makes his first declaration that I'm about to die.
Najprv im hovorí, ja musím zomrieť.
And it's probably only 8 or 10 days before that happened.
A už je len iba 8 alebo 10 dní predtým, než sa to skutočne stalo.
Why did he make it to Gentiles?
Prečo to hovoril pohanom?
Because he's fulfilling the Abrahamic covenant.
Lebo on spĺňa záveť z Abrahámu.
In your seed, all the nations of the earth shall be blessed.
Lebo v tvojom semeni budú požehnaní všetky národy zeme.
The Messiah didn't come to die for Jews only.
Lebo Mesiáš neprišiel zomrieť len pre Židov.
He is a Jew.
On je Židom,
He's still a Jew today.
aj dnes je Židom.
We don't lose our ethnicity when we go to heaven.
Lebo keď odídeme do neba, tak nestrácame svoj pôvod.
But he came to die for the whole world.
Ale on prišiel, aby zomrel pre celý svet.
John 3:16.
Ján 3:16.
That's what he's saying right here.
A presne to hovorí znovu.
And Andrew had the courage and he had the caring heart to bring these foreigners to Jesus.
A Andrej mal tú smelosť a mal tú citlivosť, aby priviedol týchto cudzincov k Ježišovi.
And Jesus takes that opportunity to preach this incredible sermon.
A Pán Ježiš využil túto jedinečnú príležitosť, aby vyrozprával, alebo aby poučil túto
To
kázeň.
make these great statements.
Aby povedal tieto vyhlášky.
So how about us?
A čo s nami?
Do we care about other people?
Máme záujem o iných?
Do we really?
Máme naozaj záujem o iných?
We're all convicted of this one, aren't we?
Všetci sme asi oslovení v tomto, čo?
If we were really caring, if we cared about people like Andrew, we would bring a few more of them to come and talk to Jesus, wouldn't we?
Lebo keby nám skutočne záležalo na druhých, tak asi by sme viac ich pozvali, aby počuli o Ježišovi.
Do we pray for the Gentiles of this world?
Modlíme sa pre pohanov tohoto sveta.
Do you pray for your relatives that aren't saved?
Modlíte sa pre svojich príbuzných, ktorí nie sú zachránení.
Do you ever say anything?
Oslovíte ich niekedy.
Do you give money to missions?
Dávate na misiu.
Maybe you can't go anymore for age or some other reason,
Ak pre nejaký dôvod sami nemôžete sa dať do misií,
but we can all give.
ale všetci môžeme niečo dať.
See, Andrew was a caring person. He cared for the souls of these people.
Andrej bol osoba, ktoré záležalo na iných.
Then number 6 is in Mark chapter 13.
Vraciame sa do Marka 13. kapitoly.
This is during the last week between the triumphal entry and the cross.
A toto je posledný týždeň Ježišovho života, teda medzi slávnostným vstupom do Jeruzalema a krížom.
And the disciples are listening to Jesus give his last great discourse.
Učeníci počúvajú Ježišove slova, také.
And there's many questions they have in their mind.
A vo svojich mysliach majú množstvo otázok.
Jesus says, I'm going to tear down this temple and I'm going to build it again in 3 days.
Pán Ježiš povedal, zborte tento chrám a ja ho postavím za 3 dní.
They all heard the stories about how many decades it took Solomon to build the foundation.
A pritom počuli všetci určite príbeh, ako Šalamún potreboval 10 ročia, aby postavil základy.
And how Nebuchadnezzar destroyed the temple.
Ako Nabuchodonozor bol zničil ten chrám.
And how Haggai in his time they'd seen it rebuilt.
Ako Hageus a ostatní vo svojom čase, Zerubabel a ostatní začali opravovať.
And then Herod had spent so many decades making it even more beautiful.
A ďalšie 10 ročia Herodes potreboval, aby to všetko znovu okrášlil, vylepšil.
And this carpenter says he's going to destroy it and build it in 3 days.
A tento stolár hovorí, tesár hovorí, že za 3 dní ho znovu buduje, hoci ho niekto zbúra.
And look again at verse 3. Here's our 4 mentioned again.
A zase v 3. verši tej 13. kapitole sa spomínajú naši 4.
Andrew is there privately questioning him.
Keď sedel na Olivovom vrchu naproti chrámu, opýtali sa ho osobitne Peter, Jakub, Ján a Andrej.
I like this.
Páči sa mi to.
They were Bible students.
Boli to študenti Biblie.
They didn't understand Jesus' discourse.
nepochopili všetkým slovám.
There are many things we don't understand in Scripture.
Je to mnoho vecí, ktorým nerozumieme.
There are some secret things in Scripture that God says they're my secrets.
Sú tajomstvá, o ktorých sám Boh povedal, že patria jemu.
But we should keep questioning.
Ale máme sa pýtať,
We
máme
should keep
klásť otázky.
thinking.
Máme rozmýšľať.
We should keep discussing.
Môžeme diskutovať o tom.
Now we should not become divisive
A nie na to, aby sme sa rozdeľovali kvôli tomu,
over different interpretations we have,
kvôli rôznym tlmočeniam,
but we should be like Peter, James, John, and Andrew and keep questioning, thinking.
ale máme byť ako Peter, Jakob, Ján a Andrej, ktorí kladú otázky.
That's number 6.
A to je číslo 6.
Now the last time you see Andrew in the whole Bible is in Acts chapter 1.
Posledný krát, keď sa stretávame s Andrejom v tomto príbehu Novej zmluvy, je Skutky 1. kapitola,
In verses 13 and 14.
13. a 14. verš.
Jesus has died,
Pán Ježiš zomrel,
he's risen again,
vstal z mŕtvych,
he's ascended into heaven,
vstúpil hore do neba,
but the Spirit hasn't come yet.
ale duch ešte nebol zostúpil na učeníkov.
That was a very scary few days.
A to bolo dosť takých,
You know, no Spirit to help us.
strašných dní. Nebolo ducha,
No Jesus here to help us.
ani Ježiš nebol tu, aby pomáhal.
But these men of God, they went into the upper room again.
Ale títo Boží mužovia odišli zase do hornej izby, do vrchnej dvorany
And they pray.
a modlili sa.
And it says very clearly that Andrew is with them.
A je jasne napísané, že je Andrej medzi
There's a
nimi.
number of people mentioned.
Sú niekoľko mien spomenuté,
There were 120 of them there.
bolo ich až 120.
But I like the fact that the Holy Spirit names Andrew.
Ale sa mi páči skutočnosť, že Duch Boží sa pousiloval, aby Andrej bol zapísaný.
Even in the most difficult times, there's Andrew.
Aj v tých najťažších chvíľach tam je Andrej.
He's continuing.
On pokračuje.
He doesn't give up.
On sa nevzdal.
Doesn't run away.
Nebeží.
He doesn't throw in the towel.
Nevzdal to.
He follows. He continues.
On nasleduje, on pokračuje.
He does what most of us have difficulty with. He prays.
On robí to, čo väčšina, alebo mnohí z nás možno máme problém. On sa modlí.
I'm sure in those hours, waiting for the Spirit of God to come,
A si myslím, že v tých hodinách, keď čakali, že sa splní zasľúbenie, že Duch
he
príde,
remembered when he was just a curious disciple.
možno si spomenul na časy, keď bol len zvedavý,
Then he would hear the Lord calling him, Andrew, follow me.
spomenul si na Ježišove slova, poď nasleduj ma.
Then that time when he was convinced of who Jesus is.
A potom ten moment, keď bol presvedčený v to, kto Ježiš je.
And many other times he became even more convinced.
A mnoho iných príležitostí, keď ešte bol viacej usvedčený.
He was courageous in front of thousands of people.
Mal smelosti pred toľkým zástupom.
He asked the right questions.
Kládol správne otázky.
He was caring about the foreigners. He brought the foreigners to Jesus.
Priviedol týchto cudzencov k Ježišovi.
Now here he is. He's continuing.
A teraz ho vidíme tu. On pokračuje.
We don't know what Andrew did after this.
Nevieme ďalej, čo sa s ním stalo.
Did he stay in Jerusalem and die?
Zostal v Jeruzaleme a tam zomrel.
Was he a missionary to Nepal?
Alebo sa stal misionárom až do Nepálu.
We don't know.
Nevieme.
In fact, I'm glad we don't know.
A možno aj dobre, že nevieme.
The Bible follows Peter and then Paul.
Lebo v Biblii máme ďalej príbeh Petra a potom neskôršie aj
If
Pavla.
it followed Andrew and Thomas and everybody, we'd have a Bible this big.
Lebo keby bol príbeh každého zapísaný, tak by sme asi mali takúto Bibliu.
So those are the only 7 things you need to know about Andrew.
Takže toto je tých 7 vecí, ktoré potrebujete vedieť o
See how
Andrejovi.
they build on each other.
Ale vidíte, ako sa budujú jedno na druhé.
See how he becomes a more dedicated disciple of Jesus.
Vidíte, ako sa stal viac a viac zasveteným učeníkom Ježiša.
And follow his example.
Tak nasledujte jeho príklad.
See, it's hard to follow the example of Jesus. He's perfect.
Lebo je ťažko nasledovať príklad Pána Ježiša, však on je dokonalý,
So
že?
when we get an example like Andrew,
Ale keď máme príklad človeka, ako napríklad aj Andrej.
okay, Andrew's more or less like me.
Andrej je viac menej podobný mne.
In fact, he was even number 4.
Dokonca on je bol 1, 2, 3, štvrtý.
He didn't get to sit next to Jesus.
On nesedel hneď popri
He
Ježišovi.
was 4 seats away.
Asi bol na 4. mieste.
Yeah, his name is not mentioned very often like Peter, James, and John.
Ja, lebo jeho meno sa však nespomína ako Peter, Ján a Jakob.
But I still see him as one of the heroes of Scripture.
A vidíte, a predsa ho vidíme ako jedného z hrdinov viery v písme.
So don't worry about if people know or don't know your name.
A tak netrápte sa, ak ľudia nevedia vaše meno.
Don't worry if you have many or not so many talents and abilities.
Netrápte sa nad tým, či máte veľa alebo málo schopností.
Jesus simply says,
Pán Ježiš jednoducho hovorí,
follow me.
nasleduj ma.